Good morning, everyone, and welcome. The theme of this year's State of the City, chosen by Mayor Rayapati, is From Generations for Generations. And this is a great place to reflect on that, right here in this room on this piece of land. I'm Ashley Allen Smith, Community Engagement Manager for the City of Moline. Connecting with our residents and community partners is deeply rewarding, and it's an honor to be here with you this morning. We're gathered today in the Moline Club, also known as the Leedy Building, a space that beautifully reflects the story of our city. Before this building stood here, this plot of land was home to the Swedish Methodist Church, founded by Klaus Bangston. In the summer of 1847, Klaus, his wife, and 4 children, recent immigrants from Sweden, walked from Chicago to Moline. There were no trains then. Klaus is believed to be the first Swede to settle here, a powerful reminder of the determination and hope that helped shape our community. The church later sold the land to R.C. Leedy, owner of R.C. Leedy and Company, a 5 and dime store. In 1912, Leedy constructed the building we know today and generously shared a floor with the Moline Club. The Moline Club itself was founded in 1895 by Charles Deere, son of John Deere, for social good fellowship and the furtherance of the civic interests in the city of Moline. Those words still resonate today. Moline has a rich history. Even our name tells a story, derived from the French word moulin, meaning mill. Moline is the city of mills. We are, of course, known as the home of John Deere. Names like Deere, Butterworth, and Veely are so woven into our identity that it's easy to forget that they represent real people, hardworking families whose legacies endure because of their contributions. While proud of our industrial heritage, Moline is continuously evolving. Our city is not defined solely by people from more than a century ago. Right now, we are deciding what kind of Moline we want to give to future generations. A recent example, the Moline Coal Valley School District held a contest to name their new consolidated elementary school, merging Lincoln Irving and Willard, which will be opening in 2027. The winning name was Robert Ontiveros Elementary School, honoring business leader and community advocate Bob Ontiveros, who founded Group O. He grew up in Moline's Floreciente neighborhood and established institutions like the Quad Cities Hispanic Chamber of Commerce and Mercado on 5th. That vote reflects a key truth. We are creating history right now. Today's theme Today's theme, From Generations for Generations, reminds us that while we honor the foundation built by those who came before us, the pen is now in our hands. We have the opportunity to write the next chapter of Moline's story, one that respects our past, serves our present, and invests boldly in our future. Before we continue, I want to thank our City Council members for their commitment to our community. Ward 1, Debbie Murphy. Ward 2, Alvaro Macias. Ward 3, Abdul Razak. There you are. Ward 4, Matt Timian. Ward 5, Jessica Finch. Ward 6, Dan McNeil. Ward 7, Anna Castro. And Alderperson at Large, James Patrick Schmidt. I also want to recognize City Administrator Bob Vitas, our department directors, and all of our city staff for their tireless work behind the scenes. True to her style, our mayor likes to involve the people really doing the work, or walking the walk in her words, to speak at her State of the City. And with that, it's my pleasure to welcome Maria Ontiveros. She is the co-founder of Mercado on 5th, which is known for its night markets and cultural programming that have launched dozens of new businesses in the Quad Cities. She serves on the board of the Rock Island County Metropolitan Mass Transit District and is a proud Illinois Quad Cities resident where she lives with her husband and 2 children. Please join me in welcoming her to the stage.
Good morning, everyone. It's great to see so many familiar faces and to feel the pride of Moline in this room. Thank you, Mayor Rayapati and city staff for including me in this year's State of the City. It's an honor to speak to the theme From Generations for Generations and to reflect on my family's legacy here in Moline. The Anaveras family had a big year this year. I'm still pinching myself that a school that was previously named after Abraham Lincoln is now named after Papa. Our family wants to thank the voting public and the Moline Public Schools for this incredible honor. Our roots go back to at least my great-grandparents, John and Josephine Ontiveros, who raised 11 children in a 1,200 square foot home in Moline. It's still there on 4th Avenue and 6th Street in what is now known as the Floreciente neighborhood. And my grandfather Bob was one of the oldest boys of that family. And he was a Moliner through and through. He went to Erickson Elementary, worked as a busboy at the LeClaire Hotel in downtown Moline throughout junior high. He graduated from Moline High School and studied at Moline Community College. And he went on to found Bi-State Packaging in 1974 on the east end of Moline. And that business, as Ashley said, went on to become Group O, one of the largest Hispanic-owned companies in the country. He has an incredible American dream story, and he is a product of this city. At a certain point in his life, he turned his attention to giving back to Moline. Without my grandfather's vision, ambition, and generosity, we would not have the Moline Boys and Girls Club, the Moline Community Health Care, Mercado on 5th. His philanthropy continues to impact so many Moline-based organizations, sports teams, and schools. And this story is not unique to the Ontiveros family. This story is Moline's story. Moline was built on families that stayed, that invested, and that cared deeply about what they were leaving the next generation. My grandfather's passion for Moline is part of the reason why I stayed, came back, and why I'm still here. 10 years ago, I came to visit my family and stayed with my grandparents during the summer in their home in Moline. And during that time, my grandfather recruited me to help him with an idea that he had for a market. To get us started on the right foot, he introduced me to a lot of people that summer, surrounding me with leaders who also cared deeply about Moline. Jane O'Brien, then director of the Moline Public Schools Foundation. Tar and Erica Macias, founders of Hola America, and Tar's brother Alvaro, now Second Ward Alderman. Juanita and Abel Zertuche, founders of LULAC Moline. He knew what he was doing sharing his network with me. He wasn't just helping with Mercado, he was bringing me home. He gave me people and purpose. And that is something everyone in this room can and should help develop for the next generation of Moliners. While city staff, council members, and development teams are constantly improving the local policy and the physical environment of our city, all of us can support Moline's future by intentionally networking and retaining homegrown talent. I had a conversation recently with a friend whose daughter was home from college visiting for the summer. And I said to her, this is your opportunity to get your daughter to fall in love with this community. And she reacted as if she hadn't thought of this, almost as if she'd already given up on the idea of her daughter ever living here. Most young people only know their high school peers. They don't have a network yet. That was the case for me before my grandfather took me around. And prior to this, I was not in love with the idea of moving back home. Back then, I even wrote a song about it, and it went like this. Moline, 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 I'm begging of you, please don't change my plans. Moline, 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 please don't keep me just because you can. Thank you. And the song went on to talk about our terrible winters and infrastructure and disrepair. But Obviously, my attitude has done a 180 about this city. Moline is a city with so much opportunity to create something, to find purpose, to get connected, and to start and raise a family. I'm so grateful to my grandfather who passed away 4 years ago this week in his home in Moline. And I'm so proud that his story and legacy will continue to inspire future generations of Moliners and those beyond. Thank you.
Thank you, Maria. Next, I am excited to introduce our next speaker, Brian Viegbe. I had the pleasure of getting to know Brian this past summer when he participated in Moline's internship program. Brian is bright, driven, and has his own unique perspective on what it means to be a Moliner. He's a senior at Moline High School and an excellent example that Moline's future is in good hands. Please join me in welcoming Brian.
Hello everybody, my name is Brian Viegbe and I'm a senior at Moline High School. It's truly an honor to be here today. I stand here not just as a student, but as someone who represents the next generation and leaders of Moline, young people who are growing up in a city that's diverse, evolving, and full of opportunity. For many decades, Moline has been a city defined by hard work and growth. This has been a place where people come together to build better lives for themselves and for those who come after them. But as many of you know, Moline is changing, and I'm an example of this change. On my 3rd birthday, my family left Benin, Africa, and came to the United States. My family came to the US for better access for healthcare opportunities for my older sister. We are a part of the many immigrant communities that make up Moline. Adjusting to life in America wasn't easy for my parents. Everything was new. The culture, the language, and even the customs. What helped us was the local African community here in the Quad Cities. They helped us feel as though we weren't alone in this new country. Both my parents had earned college degrees in Africa, but when we arrived in the United States, those credentials didn't transfer. My dad made the choice to attend Western Illinois University to attain his bachelor's degree in engineering so he could support us. I remember him studying, working hard, and never complaining. Seeing the hard work and dedication my dad put toward getting his degree inspired me to wanting to become better. For me, though, it was easier to settle into the Moline community because of the diversity of the school district. The Moline-Coal Valley School District has some of the most unique and interesting people I've ever met. What makes Moline so special is that you can meet so many people from different backgrounds, from the different clubs and extracurriculars that students are a part of, to the different languages and countries that students are from, to the different backgrounds of the people in the Moline School District. Moline is quickly becoming a rapidly changing community. Being surrounded by so many different people has pushed me to get more involved in my community and take on new opportunities. Throughout high school, I've been a part of Interact Club, Green Moline, National Honor Society, and other organizations focused on service. Each experience has shown me a different side of the community, reminding me that real change happens when people show up and care. One of my biggest opportunities that I've done in high school was my internship with the City of Moline. Throughout each day, I was able to explore and learn so much more about the city and what I wanted to do career-wise as I spent each weekday working with different people who worked for the city. From working in the executive department to working with the community and economic branch of the city, this internship opportunity was a once-in-a-lifetime experience. Seeing how the city leaders influence the lives of those who live in Moline made me realize that I can be a part of shaping my city too. Leadership, initiative, and drive. This is what my generation is willing to take with the new opportunities available to us. My generation's biggest strength is wanting change. You've probably heard before that Gen Z is lazy, unmotivated, not wanting to do anything, but I feel like that's far from the case. From the different clubs I've been involved with, for example, the Sure Joyce fundraiser by the National Honor Society to clothe those who can't afford clothing during the winter, and the Student Hunger Drive by Interact Club to feed those who are less fortunate in the community. It's a clear sign that my generation is willing to make an impact on Moline. My generation is willing to take initiative for the future. We are capable, invested, and ready to lead. As we look at the city of Moline, don't just look at the past, but think about our future ahead of us. Thank you so much for listening to me today. I would like to thank the people who have supported me along the way, my family, my public speaking teacher, Mrs. Koski, and the city staff who gave me a chance to be up here today. Thank you.
Thank you, Brian. Next, it is my pleasure to introduce Claire Lindahl, Chief Executive Officer of the Soil and Water Conservation Society. A Moline native, she is the first female CEO of the society. She advocates for national policy, bridges science and practice, and unites diverse stakeholders to achieve meaningful conservation goals. Claire is all about protecting Moline, both physically through her work in conservation and by helping maintain the city's strong sense of community. Claire is an active East Ender with a heart for true community. Please join me in welcoming her to the stage. Claire Lindahl.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much for that introduction. Those are some tough acts to follow. I can make you a promise I will never sing up here. If I had a voice like that, I would. And I definitely want your public speaker teacher, because she has done an amazing job. Thank you for this invitation to say a few words today. I was over the moon to be asked to do this. Literally everyone I know knows right where I am right now. This is such an honor. And I love this year's theme, From Generations for Generations, which honors the legacy of those who built our city and the ways we continue to shape it for generations to come. And I want to embrace that theme in my brief comments today by sharing how I'm shaped by this community and how it drives me to center community in my life and work. And it all started in 1975 when this guy right here, my dad, he's up front here, bought this, woo! There, give Gary a applause. Bought this house in the East End of Moline with a VA loan after serving in the Vietnam War. This is his, he was mowing the lawn on Christmas Day once. He's very proud of that picture. And then 1 year later, in 1976, he would meet this hottie, move her in and marry her by 1977. That's my mom. Smart man, he knew a good thing when he saw it. And in 1983, they would bring me home to this house, and I would spend the next 42 years watching my parents improve on everything, always finding ways to make life better for the people around them. And it would be in our house, where Dad was always working on a home improvement project. And it would be in our yard, where they were always working in the yard. We were always outside. They had beautiful vegetable and flower gardens. And in the summer of 2020, the Quad City Times even did an article on our yard. And it would be in our neighborhood. Mom was always caring for a neighbor. She was a nurse. She was always helping someone change a dressing. I never really knew what that meant. She was also a mental health nurse, and so our porch was sort of a part-time office. Neighbors would come and go, share their struggles, their joys with her over a cup of coffee. And Dad's always loaning out a tool or shoveling snow for the whole block. He's hosted a cleanup in the neighborhood for almost 20 years, we figured out last night. And it would be my parents, the East End neighborhood, in this incredible community of Moline that would give me the immense opportunities that I have had in my life. It would be the Mississippi River, where I still drag my bike over the tracks to. I'm going to get us access in the East End to that river. And local leaders like Chad Pagracki and Kathy Wine that would lead me to choose a career path that serves our natural resources and the communities that depend on them, and that would allow me the opportunity to become the first woman CEO of the Soil and Water Conservation Society, an 80-year-old national organization. It would also be Black Hawk College and the teachers that would help me pass the math classes that I could not pass at Iowa State University. And it would be that tight-knit community of the East End of Moline. That's the reason my best friend of 42 years from 3 blocks over sits in the crowd this morning. And I have this amazing career, living and working out of Des Moines, but Des Moines' not home to me. And I get to meet hundreds of people from coast to coast in my line of work, great people, but there's no one like a Moliner. And I get to work on impactful projects at the intersection of policy and practice and science, but I take no greater pride than coming home to Moline at least quarterly to bring together my East End neighbors. And let me just brag on my East End neighborhood group for a minute. Are there East Enders? If you live in the East End, could you please stand up? Dad, I know you live there. Where's some of my East Enders? Okay. So in the fall of 2023, we started meeting. And since then, we have had no fewer than 40 people at our meetings. We've gathered at local parks, we've supported neighborhood business, we've planted trees, we've hosted cleanups, and most importantly, we've helped one another. With immense support from our mayor and her incredible staff, I'd like to add, and I'd love to have everyone who works for the City of Moline stand up right now, or who's an elected official. Come on. I work with groups all over the nation. There is no one who supports groups like the City of Moline does. I would learn why giving is so important over the last 42 years. And there's no better example of that lesson than when in April of this year, when my mom passed away, the neighbors of the East End would show up to the visitation. They'll share hugs and memories with me, and I'll see them in the neighborhood. They will have invited my dad to their family parties, and they will drive by to make sure that my dad is not on a ladder. I want everyone to know that he is not to be on a ladder. The lessons my parents, my neighborhood, and my city of Moline have taught me, continue to teach me, is the more you give, the more you receive. And that every one of us has an opportunity to make a difference in the life of someone else. I'm a confirmation sponsor for an incredible 15-year-old. And together we had to complete a service project with a 15-year-old who just wants to go to Target. But I'm involved with a homeless shelter and food pantry in Des Moines, so her and I made a taco dinner for 25 families who were occupying the space. And after we had taken the dinner to them on our way back that evening, she told me just how good it makes her feel to make a difference in the life of someone else. I always end a speech with a call to action. It's like a must. It's like speech 101. And so I want to end my speech today how they're doing it on social media. I told you I was hanging out with a 15-year-old, right? So bear with me. One morning, a woman will tell you to introduce yourself to a neighbor, to go to your next neighborhood meeting, to start your own neighborhood group, to find a way to give back and to take it a step further and find a young person to share that experience with. And if you want to be truly happy and reap the benefits that come from that experience, the joy, the friendship, the love, the support, it is absolutely pertinent that you say yes. Thank you, Moline.
Thank you, Claire. Now it is my honor to introduce our next speaker. Many of you know her as mayor, but her career in service started well before City Hall. She began as a registered nurse, a background in care and advocacy that she eventually carried into academia. After earning graduate degrees in music from the University of Minnesota, she began her teaching career in 2001 as a professor of music at Augustana College, where she continues to lead today. Since being elected in 2021, she's focused on practical progress in our city. I've had a look at her remarks for this morning, and I noticed that she left one detail out. While we're celebrating our wins from the past year, it's worth mentioning that 2025 marks the start of her second term as mayor. It's a significant milestone that speaks to her leadership and the trust this community places in her. Please join me in welcoming Mayor Sangeetha Rayapati.
Well, good morning, everyone. Oh my goodness, this is a beautiful scene from here, and I hope from where you are. Just one item of housekeeping. I noticed that we didn't guide anyone to the elevator this morning, so you all got your steps in for the day, right? There is an elevator if you need it. It's here, and so it was through a doorway that you might not have seen earlier. Anyway, it is great to have this opportunity to be in this historic space again. If you've been around for the past few years, you might know that I change our location for this event every year, and that's intentional. I want us to visit or revisit the places and spaces that knit our collective memories together in community. And for those who don't have generational ties to Moline, I want to introduce them to the unique spaces that are cherished and preserved for us to use in the present and the future. And so I'm really proud that once again we have a space that has been reinvested in and can welcome the community back in with open arms. So congrats to the owners of the Moline Club, Ved Pal and Bob Lee Saini, on their work, and best wishes to them for continued success. I hope you've also enjoyed the trip down memory lane, if you got to catch it, provided by Alderperson Timian's then and now slides. Thank you, Mr. Timian, for awakening us to these comparisons. And I hear that he has a ton more of these postcards and plans to keep posting them, so just follow him on his Alderperson page. And to our three community presenters, Maria, Brian, and Claire, I hope you are proud to have roots in Moline. We do know that now. You've made it very clear to us. We certainly are proud of you and what you've given or will give to us in so many varied ways. Let's give them one more round of applause. Our main purpose today is to review the work the city undertook in 2025 and what our plans are for 2026. At the heart of this annual review is the acknowledgement that Moline is undergoing transformational change. And I don't mean the buzzword type of change that folks use to generate excitement. I don't mean the type of change that people are afraid of because there's newness to grapple with or new habits to develop. When I speak of the transformational change happening in Moline, I'm speaking about strategic, stabilizing moves we are making to help our community fulfill its potential. The vision we have for this city is not myopic. It's not egotistical or meant to benefit a few select people. It's distinguished, and it's communal. And it rivals what other river towns have been or are willing to do to create a high-quality city. So what we're really reviewing is the evolution that's been steadily taking place in Moline from generations for generations. A great foundation was set from which we are launching more for those that come after us. The evidence of this purposeful stance is all around us. From the new plaques on the riverfront honoring the work of an extraordinary early entrepreneur and founder of Moline, David B. Sears, to the preservation and improvement of the old post office by Andrew Dassow and his team at Streamline Architects, to the continued use and improvement of the Coney Tower by Hyperlift, Inc., the city is committed to cherishing our past while moving us into a prosperous future. Communal prosperity, though, does not happen by accident. It's planned for. We do that work through our budget and our strategic plan priorities, which are informed by our community survey results and best practices for urban community development. Our $163.4 million budget prioritizes, as has been, infrastructure needs, housing needs, economic needs, and quality of place, while keeping healthy fund balances and cash reserves and maximizing sound financial planning. with only a 1.43% growth in the size of the adopted budget for 2026, this represents a very conservative budget. With this discipline, we are not simply striving to pay our bills. We are figuring out ways to address our many needs with the least impact to our residents as possible and plan for the future. Budgeting simply year to year without planning for the future would be irresponsible. We are proud that our planning will result in delivery of projects and services that the entire community deserves. And the evidence for our commitment to infrastructure improvements, like roads, is in this budget. 39% of our budget is going to capital projects and equipment. We continue to make the $2 to $3 million annual investments in road improvements that our pavement condition index identified were needed for making a real difference in the quality of our road network. So even if your particular street hasn't been addressed yet, there are plans to get to it. You just have to check out the maps on our website that will tell you how close we are. Or you can always talk to your older person. Grants have also funded significant improvements on major roads, like 7th Avenue, with new roundabouts that provide cleaner intersections and move traffic more effectively. And no discussion of 2025 transportation achievements is complete without celebrating the appropriation of funds needed for passenger rail through the state of Illinois. I think it's ironic that we've had to fight so hard and so long for rail connectivity that previous generations had in the Quad Cities. But we will continue to monitor and advance the steps needed for completion of that project through our connections in Springfield. I'm pleased, though, that future generations will finally have rail service that will bolster opportunities for work and economic connectivity. It's not just roads and rails, though, that this council has attempted to improve. We are engaged in a sidewalk improvement plan that has been executed well over the last year. Residents in those areas that have been improved can now walk without fear of tripping or twisting their ankles in a massive crack somewhere. For some Moliners, a small injury can lead to large financial losses in the form of missed work or medical bills. So we're really proud to be able to support an ordinary program that makes a valuable impact. Another significant infrastructure project that began this year is the upgrading of our South Slope wastewater treatment plant. $120 million of Illinois EPA loan funds were secured for this. And that, of course, required careful strategic planning by our talented finance, utilities, and administrative staff. Modernizing and repairing our utilities is essential for controlling future costs and the environmental impacts on our Rock River. The continued disinvestment in some of the utility funds over the course of 15 or more years had to be stopped, or we risked catastrophic sewer failure that would impact not only Moline residents, but folks in nearby towns as well. This project is hiring local workers and is under our impact agreement, and we certainly will keep our newest utilities director, Laura Williams, busy. Where is she? Somewhere in here, there, back there. It is probably the most significant project that will impact future generations of Moliners, along with our very first environmental resiliency plan, led by Public Works Director Denver Schmidt, which is currently in development and should be help to protect us well. Beyond pipes and pavement, we have spent ample time considering moves that need to be made to create a comprehensive housing plan that not only addresses availability of housing and the continuum of housing needs, but helps us lean further into economic growth. While we waited for our comprehensive plan update project to kick off, if you didn't know, we haven't had a new comprehensive plan in over 20 years, we passed a small lot ordinance, which should reduce barriers for interested parties to build homes on smaller parcels that exist all over this city. We're in the middle of improving zoning so we can increase our missing middle housing stock that's otherwise known as the duplexes and triplexes or quadplexes that dotted neighborhoods of generations prior. We're pursuing these updates to correct exclusionary zoning practices of previous generations. Modern urban planning has made clear that the impact of redlining and previous emphasis on the single-family home has not benefited all communities equally. We know that this, paired with our strategy around decreasing barriers to development, is on track because between November and December of last year, we signed 3 development deals for 177 units downtown. And we have another 105 units in design across 5 sites that are slated to start construction later this year and early next year. People want to work with the City of Moline on these types of projects, and we continue to try to make it as easy as possible. Evidence is our one-stop shop, now at the Community Services Building, the old Bethany building, and that is also part of the plan. Making sure our zoning is not overly cumbersome is also part of an overall strategy for growth. I'm pleased that this month, the public input phases of the comprehensive plan will commence. Like all of the big projects we've undertaken, we want community input. That comprehensive plan will be developed over 2026 with adoption expected this November. And speaking of big projects, our need to upgrade a central fire station that has outgrown its useful life has been propelling us over the last year as well. In 2025, we saw initial drawings and gave feedback on the design of a new site off of purchased land on 7th Street. Community safety is a high priority for this council, and I'm proud that we have not given up on this project. So the shuffling of offices like Community and Economic Development and Parks and Recreation to the new City Services Center and Finance to City Hall are all part of what is needed to eventually vacate the current Central Fire Station. We plan to execute this next big project with the same attention to efficiency and effective cost savings as we have with other projects. Big and important projects like that often take a long time to execute. And one I know you are urgently waiting for are the bulldozers to start at the riverfront, and for quiet zones to limit the amount of train noise there is downtown. And I can't wait for that either. I am happy to say that in 2026, we should see those bulldozers. And you can check out or remind yourself of our riverfront plans on our website. And staff continues to pursue grant funding for certain parts of the plan and is working with interested investors who will help us make our vision a reality. With the help of Renew Moline, we've worked on those riverfront plans for quite some time. Thank you to their executive director, Alex Elias, for helping us submit our River's Edge redevelopment zone application this past year to the state. The economic incentive that gives are crucial to the continued private investment in that project, and we should have an update on our application soon. Alex has also been a longstanding partner in the pursuit of a food hall, and this year I saw a glimpse of what and where this really could take shape. Rather than the Spiegel Building location, we will pursue the positioning of this across the street in combination with new housing and other amenities. It's not only the flashy projects like the riverfront that take a lot of time to execute. Sometimes it's the not so flashy ones too. Hy-Vee at John Deere Road closed in December of 2021, but this fall we were excited to host the opening of a new Aldi and other shops in its place. I hear Ulta just opened yesterday. And it's a wonderful feeling to drive past knowing that we were able to meet a need in that part of the community, as well as restore empty retail at a critical commercial zone. It does feel that reactivation of empty space is a task where the goalposts move frequently. But I appreciate all the work done in our Community and Economic Development Division to make steady progress despite this. One of the best examples of this situation is our South Park Mall. During 2025, we had anticipated a really cool new entertainment industry to take over part of the mall and be the perfect catalyst for redevelopment of that commercial area. Unfortunately, the mall owners set us back by selling to another entity and altering what we had planned. I am confident, though, in our organization's moves to track and challenge the situation, though balancing that with making sure movement is made on our riverfront is a necessity. Regardless, rest assured that no one at the city has forgotten about South Park Mall. It remains a project we want to deliver on, no matter the timeline. One eatery that is on track is our Texas Roadhouse, to be located off of John Deere Road. I'm pleased to say the work continues with IDOT on that project through this year, and it should open in 2027. Another long-term project that we did open in 2025 was the new and improved Power Instruments headquarters. We've touched on this project over the years at this meeting, and it truly was satisfying to see it come to fruition this year. This project not only serves as an anchor to redevelopment in the East End, but also spurs on our effort to protect the East End from flooding. And I want to take a moment, too, to recognize all of the small business owners in Moline who are taking a chance on their dreams and opening up businesses here. Whether it's a Mexican restaurant with unique menu items, a new tattoo parlor, a burger joint that's immensely popular in my neighborhood, or any number of small businesses we are privileged to see open this year. We are glad you are pursuing your dreams in Moline. In 2026, I want to work to make sure the city complements the opportunities you're already creating for yourself, exploring how the creator economy, or AI, might help you grow your business, partnering on workforce development, artisan zoning, or any number of ideas that we can discuss together. They're all fair game for our attention to small business this year. In 2026, Community and Economic Development staff are exploring our built environment with me by working on a unique project sponsored by the Mayor's Institute for City Design and the Harvard Graduate Design School. Through the Just City Fellowship we were chosen for, we will spend the next several months learning from city design experts about how we can improve equity and opportunity by addressing the built environment, especially in the East End of Moline. Apparently, East End, it's your time. All told, the climate for our economy is trending in a positive direction. With growth at 6.15% in 2025, we're on track. It has been between 5% and 7.5% each of the last 5 years. I'm really proud of this trend and the stability that it represents, and also what it allows us to do for our residents. From providing funded programs like rental licensing to budgeting and supporting the quality of life projects taken up by our library board or our park board or our public art commission, we are running a local government that overtly gives back in meaningful ways to its residents. We're investing in projects that make Moline a place where people choose to be. One addition to our quality of life offerings is the new library gardens at Moline Public Library. If you haven't had a chance to check them out, make it a priority when spring and summer roll around. So much thought and care went into it, and the events we've had there so far have been received well. I'm proud of the forethought the library board had to feature artwork by Moline artists David Zahn and Joel Reisner, and all of the little things that they added for children and families especially. Children and families were a central focus of the park board as well. The new equipment at Browning Field is evidence of that, as is their grant seeking for soccer pitches and tree canopy projects. Excuse me. We're also thankful for the work of the Pollinator Preservation Committee, who held a Bee City Pollinator Week and collaborated with downtown businesses to highlight their objectives. Look for more of this resident and business-led work in 2026. We also look forward to what the new Moline Center Director, Jennifer Smith, will bring to our distinctive downtown. One of the things that makes Moline successful is our ability to budget in a way that invests in all of the necessities like roads and pipes and economic development, and in addition, makes investment in people and programs to help them. We have continued our funding of the Level Up program, which repeatedly shows returns on keeping Moline residents from sliding into the pit of poverty. Our Moline Neighbors United program consistently invests in solidifying our connection to residents and empowering them with valuable information and programs. I'm excited to see how their plans for neighborhood leadership training and youth leadership training take shape in 2026. The city remains invested in youth opportunity, as you heard in Brian's story, and I'm proud that the summer internships for high school students remain. It was terrific to include young people in the strategic planning process this year and to spend time with them at a Muffins with the Mayor event. Careful financial planning allows this city to do and be so much more than people expect. We're providing a Snow Angels program to help those in need shovel their sidewalks. We entered the space of increasing connection and social infrastructure with a joining fair in August, which invited people in to make new connections and explore clubs and organizations they can get involved in, all with the end result meant to develop a healthier community. And our employees help lead the way by example with their generosity through the Moline Care Crew, which in 2025 provided over 1,700 canned goods, over 5,200 meals to Riverbend Food Bank, and donated 12 big boxes of toys and $500 to Toys for Tots. Let's give our employees a round of applause for that. Our review today wouldn't be complete without making reference to the long-term work that our staff and leadership have done to address the continuum of housing needs we have and find solutions such as the temporary winter shelter we opened just a few weeks ago in partnership with Project Now. It takes a commitment from every level of the organization to see this project through, and I'm thankful to everyone who has shown that. We're actively engaged in conversations with all of our municipal and county partners on the Illinois side of the river to chart a successful path for this part of our housing solutions. I'm encouraged by the best practices I've learned about at mayor conferences and special sessions and look forward to sharing my most recent information with government and nonprofit partners soon. In many ways, Moline has adapted, adjusted, planned, replanned, foregone, and forgiven when 2025 dealt us rounds of uncertainty. Whether it was potential or realized funding gaps from a shut-down federal government, a federal budget that pulled back from funding that makes cities work, or immigration scare tactics and the uncertainty that has injected into our community, the city has responded with research, conversation, and communication. Residents can expect those efforts to continue in 2026. To be sure, there is more work to do around workforce, around housing, and around improving our economic situation. But we will approach this work in the balanced manner we have cultivated, understanding what prior decisions have resulted in, and work in a way that builds on our rich history of hardworking people. As we prepare to welcome leaders from our sister city in Asbach, Germany in April, and celebrate America's 250th birthday in July, as well as unveil a new public art project at the Q, Moline will continue to chart a path for the future that builds on the traditions and excellence of the past. Thank you to the members of the Moline City Council, the city staff, all the volunteers on our boards and commissions, and most importantly, our residents who care enough and work so hard to make Moline a community of distinction. It's a privilege to serve as your leader and in partnership with all of you. I'm thankful for the success and challenges of the last year and look forward to 2026 with hope and anticipation of more valuable work ahead. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you, Mayor Rayapati. From generations for generations. That is more than a theme, it's a responsibility. It's the understanding that we are the architects of a future that we may never see, but one that our children will inherit. It takes a certain kind of vision to lead with that mindset, to turn today's challenges into tomorrow's opportunities. As we look toward the year ahead, I'd like to invite everyone to join me in a final gesture. If you have a drink nearby, please raise it. To Moline's past, present, and future, cheers to 2026. Thank you very much.